Hi. Here's your catch 22. People want to know how you set up the conex shed, how you make the bug out wagon. Why do you get into this? Okay, well, back before 2020, everybody got the big scare of the nuclear deal. Okay, so me being poor most of the time, because that's kind of the way life works when you have families and stuff like that. You didn't make it very high up the management chain. You just don't make a lot of money unless you got great skills. Well, my skills are mediocre for what it is, and I never put money as high on the priority deal. There's more important things to me than just making money. Okay, so here's the deal. I've done truck driving, construction, ex-military. Uh, I've taken first aid CPR. Oh, I don't know. I've got a few degrees under my belt. I've studied. I like my motorcycles. I like camping. Hunting's good. Fishing's okay. I wanted to find a way to be more sustainable for me. I didn't want to give all my life away to Uncle Sam. I mean, you go out here 8 to 10 hours a day. Back in the day, I used to put in 60-hour work weeks. I'm going to be honest. It's a real waste of your life. You look back and you go, man, I didn't do much with it. And it really stinks. So you start learning how to do things you enjoy, building cabins, working on solar panels, how to cut corners and do other things like that to where you can preserve your own food. You start looking back and go, when I was a kid, grandma and them had a pantry. So you go build a pantry. You get with friends who are like minded. You study things that are going to help you do something like herbalism because you never know when you're going to go to the store, like right now, when you can't find your medicines at the store. So you start saying, what natural herbs did the Native Americans use? Uh, what natural medicines can I set up to where it helps take care of me, my family? You get into things like homeschooling because I had to do that during the pandemic. Schools were shutting down, going online. So, for one of my daughter's sakes, we did a full uh, certified school for the state of Kansas, Templar Seminary. It's basically a non-accredited private school. It's the way you're supposed to address it, but it's actually basically just homeschooling. There are rules in every state. You got to learn them for your state, and you have to match them. We keep records and everything else. I mean, it's 8 hours a day of study, just like you'd be in a school building. The point I'm making is you do these things because one, you need to. Two, it's cheap. Three, it becomes enjoyable. We started moving over and doing the farming part, and we're learning how to, or relearning, I should say, how to deal with animals. I ain't done them since I was a kid. I got a friend that takes care of farming all the time. So I'm relearning how to adjust with the animals now. Raised our own pigs this year, just slaughtered one. He tastes great. Got a cow over there. Got a little pony we're getting ready to get rid of and try to later on we'll buy a better one or a better horse, one more trainable because I don't have enough knowledge yet. And just things of that nature. We're doing chickens and turkeys and all these other animals. It's like a miniature petting zoo, which is great for kids. Not so much for us adults, but it is what it is. But I started going through that Conex shed and I bought the shed. Then I did the framework through carpentry. It's like framing a regular house inside of a steel box. Then I did my electrical because I got 2 years of industrial technology, which is mostly electrical, hydraulic, robotics, pneumatic, stuff like that. Learned that to a Votech many years ago. So I wired my own electrical, set it all up. I did plumbing because my dad taught me how to do plumbing. So I ran my own water system, hooked it up for solar battery operated pump going to a tank. Okay. Uh, I needed heat. Well, I wanted fireplace heat, so I got a miniature camp style heater that will work in there. I know propane enough to run my own gas line, so propane stove in case power goes out, I can cook. All I got to do is take the bottle off the barbecue grill and fire it up. The point I'm making is this: I looked around the world, seen how stupid stuff was getting. And then I got thinking. Everybody's like, well, all these preppers are hoarders, they're nuts, they're everything else. That's not true from my perspective. A man with money could go out and buy the biggest, highest dollar house. He'll get the fanciest cars, boats, planes, whatever he can for toys. He'll take 3, 4 vacations every couple, 2, 3 years to the fanciest of hotels and everywhere else under the world, Disneyland, whatever. And that's his prerogative. I turned around and prepared for the safety of my family because a dollar today is not going to be a dollar tomorrow. So inflation is killing us right now. I perceived back then that inflation was going to steadily get worse. I could just look at numbers and figure that out. You could Google it for no other good purpose now. So I started buying rice, beans, the basics, things my grandma and grandpa would use. I learned how to cook in cast iron. Okay, so I could cook my meals. I started learning how to preserve my own foods, how to grow a garden, which I'm still crappy at. But the point is I'm learning other things. Uh, the gist of it is simple. Everybody going, well, that's not a very Christian mentality. Well, if you want to get honesty, Genesis 6, 9 through 12 talks about Noah prepping. It just gets that simple. If you want to look at an ant, look at Proverbs 6, 6 through 8. Talks about how ants are diligent about their preparation. The point I'm trying to make is, basically, God values preparation and responsible stewardship. We should be diligent and responsible for our actions. And of course, we got to trust in God in general. I had to make a couple notes. Sorry, guys. The point of this stuff is simple. I don't care if I'm called a hoarder. I don't care if I'm called crazy. I'm not so blind that I can't look around the world and see that when India shuts down and it's no longer shipping rice, when all the stuff that's making our medicines come from China and we're getting ready to go into war with China. Now we have hospitals, because I have family that works in hospitals, and they can't get medicines. And rural hospitals are closing. They're selling out. They're cutting them apart like a used car lot and selling the parts. Literally, that's happening right here in my town. You look around and you wonder what's next. We got the threats of wars. We got famine, drought, places, massive amounts of forest that are burning up. I bought a sawmill so I could make my own wood to build my own corrals because I needed to be able to put my animals up. We also used it to build a small cabin, like a trapper's cabin, which kind of made me feel good because it's like what my great-great-grandfather would have done. Build your cabin from ground up. It was knowledge. I didn't spend a ton of money doing it. I just bought the mill, and the mill's still good for the future. God forbid it could always be used for a job if it had to be. But it wasn't really bought for the job. It was bought so I could learn how to take care of problems. The point I'm getting is this. There's nothing in those, whether you're building on a car, a house, a camper. If you're going to the grocery store and buying 1 pound of rice or 1 pound of beans extra or a can of Spam extra, you can build your pantry up. And this is how I got into it. Now, the more you try to tell people this stuff, I'm going to be honest, the more they look at you like you're a nut job. They're going to say, that crazy old individual over there, that hoarder. Well, as power goes out, because we have storms around here in the wintertime that knock the power plumb out. You know, ice is on the trees, power's out for a week at a time. Okay? You're going to be hungry. And if you don't know how to take lemon and squeeze it over tuna to cook the tuna, because you got no heat source, or because that happened in Katrina, people did that down there. And if you don't know how to soak beans to cook them, or to soak rice to make rice, and you can't do the basics, grow a potato so you can have something to eat, then you can call somebody a hoarder all you want, but when the grocery store don't take your money because inflation's so bad that the dollar just collapsed, or they ain't got no power, now the computer won't run and nobody can cash you out, how you gonna make it? Well, you gonna tell your son or daughter that morning when they say, Daddy, I'm hungry? Well, I'm sorry, son, I wasn't smart enough to prepare and stock a couple extra bags of cereal back. Or I don't know how to take care of a chicken, so I can't give you the egg for breakfast. I can't go out there and make a campfire and put my cast iron on it and fix you something to eat, son, because I wasn't smart enough to pay fucking attention. Yeah, that's kind of where this is in the world right now. So me, I took the prepared attitude. I need skills. Is my skills the best? No, they're not. I lack a lot. And I can't give up. No matter, I don't care if I'm 120 and I'm getting ready to die, I still got to try. Because the generations that are coming up behind me rely on me. You and every one of us who are adults and elders to step up. And we ain't doing this real well. I look around the world right now and I wonder straight out, where did we make our mistakes? Because we let this happen. You, me, it was our generation who screwed the pooch on this one. And we're going to be the generation that has to step up and try to figure out a way to help them make it through it. Or this whole world's done. And that's just the way I perceive it. As for skills to do these jobs, mentor somebody. Let somebody watch how you do something. It don't have to be about money. Quit asking for $50 for somebody to teach you something. Just train them. Show them. Why's it got to be about the cash? Knowledge is power, right? Okay, so why ain't we as elders passing that knowledge on? Why are we sitting here acting like we're better than the guy next door instead of getting up there trying to help him? Yeah, that's why this old guy started prepping. Because I started looking around and this world is messed up and it's getting worse every day. And I'm going to continue doing the best I can. And if I look like an old crazy guy, then I hope they're right. I hope absolutely nothing comes of this. And one of these days we'll turn on the TV set and everything's fine. Then I can go back thinking, well, I still didn't waste my money, because just like paying insurance on my car, I don't want to wreck. That doesn't mean I was wrong for buying the insurance. All right. Well, we'll catch y'all another time. God bless you. I'm out.